Alrighty. It looks like we are live. Hello and welcome to the Bri Hive. I am Boss Attorney Bri, and I am a California licensed attorney. I practice trademark law and family law. So I know that doesn't really go with what we are covering today, which is more on the criminal side. If you checked out the thumbnail and the title of this live stream, we are looking into the murder trial of Nipsey Hussle. I'm going to try not to use that word as much because YouTube is a little bit sensitive. So we're going to say unaliving on this stream, where we might use some other filler words to try to avoid some of YouTube's strict policies against certain topics. So yeah, of course, today we are going to be covering this criminal trial against the person who shot Nipsey Hussle. If you do not know who Nipsey Hussle is, he is a rapper. He comes out with a bunch of songs. He also did a lot for his community, and there are a lot of people that really supported everything that he was doing back in 2019. Unfortunately, someone that he grew up with decided that he was going to unalive him, and that brings us to the trial that we are in today. And for the record, for those of you that popped in a little late, I am not a criminal lawyer. I am a trademark lawyer and a family law lawyer. So this is not my field of expertise. So I would try to answer the questions as best as I can on this live stream. Most of it is going to be based off of my knowledge from law school, but we also do have some of the laws that are in place that we're going to go over on this stream. So we can kind of work through it together. So if you guys are new to my live stream, go ahead and drop drop a 7 in the chat. If you knew of this case before I posted it, go ahead and drop a 1 in the chat. If you did not know of the case when I posted it, go ahead and drop a 2 in the chat. And if you are just here for fun and going into the case, you don't really know about the case or never heard of it, go ahead and drop a 3 in the chat. And you can use more than one number. So I'm going to go ahead and go through the chat, see what the peeps are saying. Welcoming in the Bri Hive, we have Elena J. Welcome back to the live stream. We have Dav Omega. Welcome back to the live stream, saying, hey, Bri, I'm buzzing around. Yes, buzz around the like button. Make sure if you are here live or you're watching on the replay and you haven't hit the thumbs up button yet, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. We have Venture First coming in saying, hi, Bri. I'm excited for this. I plan to make some content surrounding this as well. I think you should. I feel like a lot of people did not know that this trial actually started, and some people might not have even known what happened in this case for it to even be brought to trial. So definitely, if you are interested in the case, make some content, let the people know what's going on. We have Cricket watching from Memphis, Tennessee. Welcome to the live stream. We have Dav Omega saying, I grew up with Nipsey Hussle. It says Russell. I don't know if that was a typo, but yeah, that's cool that you knew him. I hope you guys were on good terms. We have Venture First saying Eric Holder is a POS. Not sure what that means, so you might have to educate me here. We have Need Some Z saying, I'm not familiar with his music, but I did see how affected people were when this happened. And yeah, so I listened to a couple of his songs. I was by no means a fan of him, but I did know a lot of people that were fans of him. So I was a little familiar with him. And then the things that he does in the community, I thought that was pretty admirable. So I think this is a good case to cover because his death did affect so many people. We have a 2s coming in the chat saying that we did not know about this case before I posted it. So I'm happy to be bringing something new to some people. I know some of the Bri Hive said they were interested in this case, and that's why I decided to cover it. Because I don't usually cover criminal things on my channel, but I thought this one was a good one to cover. We have Riley with a 2 and 3 saying, didn't know about the case, but here for the fun. Data for Insights, welcome back to the live stream, and hello to you as well. We have Dav Omega saying done. Think you're referring to something up above, but I can't remember right now. We have Matching for Birthdays for Happiness. Welcome back to the live stream saying hello, and that you knew about the case before I posted it. Venture First says, I didn't know it started. A lot of people didn't know the trial started. They just kind of slid it in, and I saw it popping up on my little news feed, but not a lot of talk about it so far. And it wasn't a lot of information about the witnesses that have been presented so far. And so this case actually started last Wednesday. There have been a couple of witnesses, and I have a little bit of information on what the witnesses testified to, but there's really not a whole lot of information about it out there. Venture First says, after it got delayed in 2020, I'm upset it wasn't more reported on. Yeah, they just were not letting people know what's going on. And we have a rando named Sage Moon. Welcome to the live stream. Is this Sage Moon, or are you trolling Sage Moon? Because I know we have a Sage Moon that comes into the Bri Hive saying hello to everyone. Or did you just change your name there? We have KK saying, is it out of jealousy? I think I slightly recall hearing about it. Was it when a few rappers had been getting no longer on this earth? So sad and ashamed. Yeah, I feel like that has been happening a lot, and maybe I just don't keep up with rap that much, but I feel like there has been a lot more rappers being gunned down. So I think it's very important to cover this case, and then the ones that come up, hopefully we'll be able to cover those ones as well. And we have Dav Omega saying, Russell, he was a comedy actor in the 70s. Oh, okay. The one that he made the play of his name, like based off of his name. Okay, I see. We have Venture First saying Holder is the shooter. I dug into the case in 2019 and 2020. So the person that shot is not at question here. We're going to actually get into his actual defense, which I guess it's not really a defense, but it's trying to get the charges reduced. And I didn't have time to look into how much time he could possibly get for these. I'm pretty sure we're looking at life and all of those things, but he's basically trying to get his charge reduced from murder to something that we're going to talk about a little later on. So if you're interested in that, make sure you continue watching. We have Venture First saying, is about snitching as far as anyone knows now. Yeah, so there's a little bit of information in the articles we're going to get into. Basically, some of the witnesses said that they never heard Nipsey Hussle call him a snitch. There were some reports that there were some like police what would you call it? Like some investigations going on into them, and Nipsey Hussle told him to handle it. And then the guy came back and shot. So I'm not quite sure what he could have said to make him want to shoot him that many times. We're looking at 10 to 11 shots, but it couldn't have been that serious, right? We have Holy Hand Grenade saying, will this trial be televised? Unfortunately, it is not televised, and that's probably why we're not even hearing a lot about it. I don't know what is up with the LA courts, but they are not televising trials. And so that's probably going to be the same situation with the Megan Thee Stallion, or not Megan Thee Stallion, but Tory Lanez prosecution as well. It's probably not going to be televised. When we're talking about Marilyn Manson, that's probably not going to be televised. We hope that it is, but most likely no. I think they have like PTSD from the OJ trial or something. All right, we have Marion Bacon. Welcome back to the live stream saying, sorry to be late. So hi all, and what did I miss? We're just catching up with the chat to see what everyone knows about the Nipsey Hussle case. We're going to be covering his unaliving trial. All right, we have Hella Swanky saying, Bri Hive, what's good, y'all? How is everyone? Welcome back to the live stream, Hella Swanky. We missed you. Welcome back. Welcome back. Dasby says, I don't think this needs to be televised. And this is a 2-week trial. I don't know. I feel like I would have liked to see it televised just because the media is not really reporting on it. So I think if it was televised or streamed or whatever you might want to call it, we would have a lot more information than that what is out there right now. We have Holy Hand Grenade saying they want to keep it all on the DL because he was working on bringing people out of gang life. That's why they killed him. He was uniting a bunch of Crips and Bloods. Yeah, he was doing a lot for the community. I'm not really well versed on that information, but he was definitely doing a lot for the community where he was. And we have Daz Beat saying televised, correction. San Francisco Live saying a lot of social media rappers are not with us anymore. And I wouldn't consider him a social media rapper. He was more on the mainstream, if you ask me. I would say probably more popularized on the underground, but still in the mainstream. He has a lot of mainstream songs, or is featured in a lot of mainstream songs, especially more recently. We have a rando named Sage Moon saying, haha, this is Sage Moon. I changed the name as a nod to Depp versus Head. Okay. I'm like, are we trolling people in the chat now? Okay, well, welcome back to the live stream, Sage Moon. Happy to have you here. We have Holy Hand Grenade saying, into peace. I don't remember. What was it? Bringing them into peace. Yes. Okay. And then we have Holy Hand Grenades also saying LA is effing corrupt. The LAPD had a hand in it as far as I'm concerned. I remember that being part of some of the conspiracies back then, but I haven't dove deep into that. So I can't really comment on that. So let's go ahead and jump into the first article. And for those of you that kind of missed the beginning of the stream, we're basically going to go through some articles that are talking about the trial. And then we're going to look at the jury instructions about what these charges are, because he's being prosecuted for murder, but his defense is that it should be voluntary manslaughter, which is a reduced charge. So we're going to talk about that and whether we think that what he did qualifies for voluntary manslaughter. So let's go ahead and pop into that. So we have the article here. I will zoom in to make it big. We have, and I just printed this one out because there's always so many ads popping up. So let's try to do this one. Okay. Los Angeles, the man accused of murdering beloved rapper Nipsey Hussle allegedly yelled, "You are through," as he squeezed 10 to 11 shots in what prosecutors described Wednesday as a cold-blooded hit. So remember, guys, this trial started last Wednesday on June 15th. So we're almost a week into this trial, and it's supposed to be a 2-week trial. And it also took them 2 weeks to actually select the jury. So that is also very interesting to me. All right. More than 3 years after Hussle's death, Los Angeles County Deputy District, this guy, kicked off the trial of Eric Holder by detailing the killing in a chilling detail. So this guy, Eric Holder, is the one that's responsible for unaliving Nipsey Hussle. He shot from left and right hand. So he had 2 guns when he did this. 2 guns, not just one gun. He was shooting from 2 different guns, one in the left hand, one in the right hand. He retreated, shot some more, retreated, and went back in and shot even more, McKinney said. The only thing he said while looking at Nipsey was, "You are through." Okay. Hussle and his accused killer grew up in the same neighborhood and belonged to the same street gang, the Rolling 60s neighborhood Crips. But that's where the similarities ended, the prosecutor said, telling jurors that the case was about respect and snitching. So someone called it earlier in the chat. It's about snitching. All right, we have Nipsey there. This is our guy, the defendant, Mr. Eric Holder, who is on trial right now. On March 31st, 2019, Hussle was at his store, Marathon Clothing in LA, talking to a group of men when Holder, 32 years old, walked up and opened fire with a semi-automatic weapon in his left hand and a revolver in his right. It was a very personal attack, said the McKinney, the prosecutor. Video show Holder kicking the rapper's head while he was on the ground bleeding. They also showed this video to the jury when in opening statements of the video of him actually shooting and killing Nipsey Hussle. He was shot literally from the bottom of his feet to the top of his head, McKinney said. The bullet perforated Nipsey's lungs. 1 bullet transected his spine and 1 bullet went through the liver. It was a devastating attack. He played videos of the shooting and another in which a man desperately tried to provide CPR to Hussle's lifeless body. Holder's defense attorney admitted that it was Holder who shot him, but denied that it was premeditated. And so in order to have a first-degree murder or to have a murder charge in general, or it's first-degree murder, the killing has to be premeditated. You have had to thought about it, came to a decision that you were going to do this, had a slight plan in how you were going to carry it out, and that will be considered premeditated. what his attorney is saying is that this was not premeditated. This was basically what they call a heat of passion killing. This wasn't because he thought about it and came there to specifically do that to Nipsey Hussle. What do you guys think about this? Does this sound, and we're going to get in a little bit into the details of how it all transpired, but does someone shooting with two guns sound like they did not plan this before they came to handle what they did? All right, so let's pop in and see some questions. I think I have some people coming up. And we have Venture First saying, I have a question, but I'll ask later, so I don't say anything more before you get into it. Okay, we have Thomas Brown, welcome back to the live stream, saying, hello, I'm going to run and pick up dinner, then I should be back to see the rest of the stream. Well, hope to see you back here. And then just shouting some people out there. Holy Hand Grenade says, take all of these mainstream media sources with a massive grain of salt. Yeah, we have to, but at the same time, we don't have any information outside of the mainstream media. So I think we just have to kind of decipher what is going on. I did watch the video, and the prosecutor's description, or what they're saying the prosecutor said, seems pretty accurate from what I saw in the video. We have KK saying, gangs ruin such potential in these young people. I hope Nipsey helped get many out of that lifestyle. It's sad to see these youngins drop. Yes, I definitely agree with that. And I think he was doing his best in order to at least slow down the gang involvement in LA. We have Venture First saying, that was my question. How long do you need for it to be considered premeditated? It can be 30 seconds. It really just depends. And don't quote me on this, guys, because I'm not a criminal lawyer, but based off of what I learned in law school, you only have to think about it for a little bit. You just have to say, yep, I'm going to kill him. And I'm going to use this revolver. And what was the other gun he had in his head? Yep, that's how I'm going to do. I'm going to go right up there. I'm going to march up there, and I'm just going to shoot him. That would be considered premeditated. Okay. So we have Riley, in my opinion. That might not be how the actual courts work, but that's how it worked on my criminal law test in law school. All right. We have what a gruesome attack. He must have died in so much pain. Yeah, 10 to 11 shots. I don't know if they all hit him, but they said he had hits from his toes all the way up to his head, and that one of the bullets actually transected his spine, whatever that means. I'm thinking that means that it split the spine. We have Venture First saying he left and came back. Yep, exactly. We're going to get into that. We have KK says, sounds like planned a hit to me. Yes, I think so too. Holy Hand Grenade says premeditation also encompasses minutes before, right? Yes. So you could do it. You have to have thought about it before you started shooting, of course. And then we have Holy Hand Grenade saying it's obvious BS. I agree with you there. Who said, Kate, welcome back to the live stream. It is okay to be late, guys. No need to apologize. We have Hella Swanky saying premeditated doesn't require like weeks of planning. Nope, it only has to be a short amount. You only have to decide ahead of time, plus move with intention. A double fisting a pair of guns is not a heat of moment. He walked up and killed that man. Yes, I agree with you there. Good analysis, Hella Swanky. We have Rando named Sage Moon saying, yes, it's sad. Holy Hand Grenade saying, so do we have info? The streets talk, but when it came to that, people outside of SoCal are so disadvantaged. Yeah, so we do have a little bit more information. There are witnesses. There were other people that were actually shot, and I didn't know that information until I read up on this today. But there were people that were standing next to Nipsey Hussle that was also shot. One ended up in a wheelchair because of what this man did, and another one was just grazed by the bullet, but still very, very scary situation. We have Hella Swanky saying, no, that's exactly how I've heard criminal defense attorneys define premeditated, included Natalie. Okay, I'm just saying I don't practice, but I know from law school, you can do it 10 seconds, say I'm going to kill him, and then that's it. I'm probably going to get demonetized again. I keep getting my streams demonetized because of the topics that we are talking about are so heavily or offensive to YouTube. So talking about like killing and murder and stuff, YouTube doesn't like that. We have Shannon. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Definitely appreciate it. Saying, no way this wasn't premeditated. Thanks for covering this. What a horrible thing to do to another human being. I definitely agree with you there. And I think the fact that he is trying to reduce his charges to manslaughter, I think that's completely ridiculous. Maybe he could say second-degree murder, but I think that he has the premeditation for this one. And we're going to go through the law, so we'll check it out. And thank you so much for the super chat. We have Kay saying, also, my 4-month-old loves your streams as I do. Well, welcome, baby, to the live stream. She doesn't know what's happening, but she wants to smile at you, Bri, and say hi. Well, hello, baby. I'm happy to have you here in the live stream with us all. Can't wait till you can understand what we're talking about. All right. We have Venture First saying, okay, that's what I thought. That was the first video I planned, but have been trying to make sure since I am not a lawyer. And I'm assuming you're talking about the premeditation, right? All right. We have Thomas Brown dropping the emojis. Thank you so much for the support. We have Who Said Kate reminding us to smash the like button, little bees. Yeah, you guys, if you have not hit the thumbs up button just yet, go ahead and hit it. It helps me out in the algorithm, and it gets us to have more friends joining us on this live stream so we can all interact. All right. So let's pop back over to the article because I have like 3 articles. They're pretty short, but I do want to get through them all so that you guys can get the most information as possible. All right. So this is a case of, this is what the defender is saying. And he's a public defender. So probably not the most well-paid defender, but a public defender is defending him, saying this is a case of heat of passion. Hussle, he said, made an accusation against Mr. Holder that he was a snitch. So this is all over Mr. Holder being called a snitch. He shot 10 to 11 bullets because he was called a snitch. And when I hear stuff like that, I'm just like, how old are we? Have you guys never heard of sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me? That's what I don't get about like people who kill people because someone called them a name. I'm just like, have you guys never heard of that saying? And he's older than me, so I'm like, I'm sure he heard of that. Okay, that's it. That's so inflamed. Mr. Holder was without thinking. He was without thinking. Read this with me, guys. He was without thinking. Here we go. 9 minutes later. So he was called a snitch 9 minutes before he went. But he is trying to call this a heat of passion, which means that he did it because he was so enraged by what Nipsey Hussle said. Nipsey Hussle called him a snitch, and he got so mad that 9 minutes later, he came back to shoot him. He just couldn't shake that feeling for 9 minutes. Okay, let's get back into it. Mr. Holder shot Mr. I cannot say Nipsey Hussle's real last name. He did not have time to cool off. He did not have time to cool out. So for those full 9 minutes when he went and got in a car, allegedly going to get lunch, he never cooled off from someone calling him a snitch for 9 minutes. He was so enraged by this response that he acted without premeditation, trying to establish that this was not first-degree murder, okay? Holder is also facing attempted murder charges over the 2 men he shot next to Hussle. Carrie Lathan, 56, suffered, and we're going to get, this is about the other people that were standing next to Nipsey Hussle when he shot and the injuries that they suffered. So Carrie Lathan, 56, suffered major injuries from a shot to the back and is now wheelchair bound in a convalescence home. Isn't that horrible? You just went there to go and visit your friend, and then they shot your friend and also shot you, and now you're in a wheelchair and have to live in a convalescent home. The other man, named Shermy Cerventa Villanueva, was also grazed by a bullet. So he didn't have life-threatening injuries, but still, like I said, still a scary situation, right? And this is, I think this is the defense attorney. Yep, Aaron Jansen. So they're admitting that he did do the shooting, but they're trying to say it wasn't planned. And I don't know. I can't really get with that. I see some of you guys in the chat can't really get with that. So I'm going to hop over to the chat in just a moment. Jansen and Holder should have been charged with voluntary manslaughter. Who is Jansen? Defense attorney. Oh, sorry, I read that wrong. Jansen said Holder should have been charged with voluntary manslaughter. Voluntary manslaughter, guys. No, instead of murder and insisted his client did not intend. He's saying he also didn't have the intent to kill him. Intent to kill the other two men because he did not know them. But his intent to kill Nipsey Hussle transfers over to his intent, the harm that he caused to them. You can't just say, maybe I don't know because I'm not versed in criminal law, but I'm pretty sure his intent will transfer over to the other people. Because he did not know them. Before shooting Hussle and the other men, Holder had a brief conversation with the rapper, but left in a vehicle driven by a woman he was seeing. He quickly told the woman to go back to the area and park at an alley before he returned to shoot the rapper. And so if it wasn't premeditated, why did you hide your getaway car by parking in the alley? I don't know if I believe this. No, I know I don't believe this dude. Honestly, I don't believe him. You know, I didn't believe Amber Heard, but this guy, I really don't believe. We have Debbie coming in and saying, hi, Bri and chat. Welcome to the live stream. We have Hella Swanky saying transected the spines mean he severed the spinal cord. Likely once that happened, Nipsey didn't feel the other shot. His organs would have started shutting down immediately. Oh, that's so sad. Thank you for that information, Hella Swanky. We have Dava Omega saying, life's a hoot until you shoot. I don't know what that means, but it sounds catchy for sure. We have Hella Swanky saying, depending on where the shot transected, he could have died immediately, which honestly is what I hope, so that he wasn't in all that pain. Yeah, that's what I feel like. I would hope that he didn't really feel it, but he got shot so many times before that, so he felt something before passing away for sure. We have Holy Hand Grenade saying, a baby law nerd. Yes, baby law nerd in the house. Okay, we have Hella Swanky saying, okay, but did he go shoot him the moment he heard he had called him a snitch? No, so that's what we just talked about. 9 minutes went by before he returned to shoot him, and he could not calm down over being called a snitch after 9 minutes. And this is a 32-year-old man, guys. Okay, we have, is it a 22 caliber? I don't know. Let me check. I know it was a revolver. I don't think it gave us the caliber of the gun. Semi-automatic weapon is what they said, and then a revolver. So they didn't give us too much detail on what the caliber was. Thomas Brown said, waiting for my food, so I'm back. Welcome back. All right, we have KK saying, oh, she loves Emily D. Baker as well. Great role models. Oh, she's going to be a little lawyer. Yes, maybe she'll be a law tuber. We have Davs Omega saying 8 rounds. They said 10 to 11 shots were fired off. So more than 8, yes. Holy Hand Grenade says, what did you order? Okay, guys are talking about his dinner here. Okay, we have Thomas Brown. Well, tonight, Holy Hand Grenades, just me and my dad. So went with something a little cheap and got McDonald's. Okay, having a good dinner on the stream. Okay, Dobbs Omega says, that's what I said to my girlfriend. I had no time to... Not finishing that, Dab. I'm not finishing that. Okay, we have Holy Hand Grenade saying crime of passions are instantaneous, yes, and spontaneous, also yes. No court would agree with the ludicrous defense argument except a corrupt one like so many in LA. And I believe, this is a jury trial, so the jury would have to believe it. The judge cannot make that determination. Thomas Brown says, also, since there are quite a few of you in the chat, please hit the like button. Yes. To show that you're enjoying the stream. Yes, exactly. You guys, if you haven't hit the like button, just do the thumbs up. Make sure you like the stream. It definitely helps out the channel and help people get more information about topics like this, because honestly, it was hard finding information on this case. So we also have Hella Swanky saying, so not defending dude. However, I will say in street/gang life in prison, being called a snitch, and I was going to get to that as well. Being called a snitch is not the same as being called names. Just being accused of snitching can get you killed. Street politics. But does that justify you killing someone else? Because he already called you a snitch out loud. So I don't know. I don't think that still justifies what he did after. Dav Omega said, quit going off on me, Holy Hand Grenade. I'm enjoying myself. All right. We have Okay, you guys are talking to each other. Who said? Kate says, chat rules, please no name calling or doxing, just calm discussion for education and conversation. Yes, thank you for that. Who said? Kate, yeah, let's not be inappropriate. We already get in trouble with the topics we talk about here. We have Hella Swanky saying, can't believe I'm saying this. Now that I know he shot him 9 minutes after hearing about snitching accusation, I'm kind of thinking differently about it, not being heat of the moment. Can it be both? No, it cannot be both. To be premeditated, it means that you made a plan for it, which makes to courts and to the law, it makes the killing that much more horrible if you thought about it and then did it. Sometimes when you're in a heat of passion, it happens so quickly. Like, let's just use an angry teenager. Ask the mom to go out to go and go party or something. And mom says no. And the kid gets mad and storms off and then turns around and comes back and kills their mom because they say, you know what, I'm going to kill you. And then they turn around and come and kill them. Then that would be kind of the same, but it would still count as premeditation. Like, yes, it was still heat of passion, but you also premeditated it. So you would still be liable for the first degree murder rather than the voluntary manslaughter. Okay. So, but yeah, 9 minutes. But like you said as well, is the snitching is bad in street life. So maybe he felt like, oh, you calling me a snitch? I'll show you. I guess. I don't think it's justifiable, honestly. Holy Hand Grenade says, not hella. It can't. That defies. Oh, you guys are talking to Hella Swinky. Hella Swinky says 9 minutes isn't that long though. Even you're in rage, right? Doesn't seem like a long time. I don't think 9 minutes is long because he actually left. He actually left the location. And he was supposed to be going to get lunch. And I don't know about you guys, but when I'm going to get lunch, I am pretty happy. I'm not thinking about what someone said to me mean on the phone, like from an opposing counsel or anything. It's like, okay, I'm mad in the moment. I'm annoyed with it. But am I going to then turn around and be like, oh, well, I'll show you. I'm going to send an angry email? No, when I'm going to eat, I would lose the anger. Maybe he doesn't like to eat. All right, we have Hella Swinky saying, okay, crime of passion is instantaneous. Got it. Though answer my question and resolves my confusion. Death premeditated. CC says, I don't think it justifies it, and I'm not street. Yeah. Well, we want to hear from the street people. Does that justify? If someone calls you a snitch, does that justify you shooting them immediately? We need to know from the street people. Not from us non-street people. All right, we have Hella Swanky saying, of course it doesn't justify it. I was just providing context. It's not a sticks and stones thing. It's life and death thing. Still wrong, of course. Death's still wrong. Yeah, I definitely get it. And I think just having that context of people that actually live the life, that's very important as well. And so that's the type of information he's going to have to put out there to the jury, because they say they're getting a group of your peers. But let's be real. When you're picking your jury, it took them 2 weeks to pick this jury. They're not going to be selecting street gang people. At least the prosecution is not. They're going to want people with like, not to say street people don't have jobs, but with like respectable jobs that are kind of against gang violence and things like that. They're not going to be trying to go and pick the Bloods and the Crips and say, okay, this is a group of your peers. It's just whoever's around and whoever they think would be a good jury. It doesn't necessarily need to be like, oh, I got them all from this block, because those are your peers. It can't be your friends and things like that. So I hope that makes sense. I feel like that was kind of a tangent. Dasby says, yeah, this is not a topic to be inappropriate with. Yes, exactly. Holy Hand Grenade says, Dav is clowning. Yes. Yeah, we know we play around, but still, let's be appropriate here. Okay. Holy Hand Grenade says, a clear one most people can understand is catching your spouse cheating and you on the spot beat the other person to death. Yes. That would be a heat of passion. You're not necessarily saying, oh, I'm going to kill you. And that's what manslaughter is. Like, you're not intentionally meaning to kill the person. You are like, okay, I cannot control my rage. I just walked in on my spouse having intercourse with my wife. That's a problem. I'm going to beat him up. And then, oops, accidentally, the person is now dead, right? So it can't be oh, I'm going to go get lunch. You know what? You call me a snitch. I'm going to go get lunch. You know what? Now that I think about it, and he told someone else, turn the car around. Turn the car around. Go park in the alley so that no one sees you. And then I'm going to go shoot this guy with 2 guns. 2 guns. That's not heat of passion. That would have been like if he called him a snitch and then he automatically just pulled out the gun and shot him. Not left and came back and parked in the alley to be hidden. I don't know if it was to be hidden, but why else is he parking in the alley, right? So I don't think he has a good defense here. We have Hello Swanky saying, you're also not a gangbanger whose life depends on your reputation. Yeah, exactly. I'm not. So we would need context from the gangbangers. But still, I don't think it justifies. I mean, the courts are not going to find that as justifiable, honestly. Whatever evidence he puts on, the jury is probably still going to say, okay, you premeditated this and you deserve to go to jail. They don't really care. They don't really care about what the street rules are. Okay. Let's go back to, I think we have some things about some of the witnesses here. So let's go ahead and check it out. I couldn't print this one out, so we're going to have to deal with the ads here. So just bear with me here. All right. And this article is called Everything You Need to Know About the Trial. We get into the testimony of the woman that drove the car. So let's see if I can zoom in here. Yes, I can. Okay. What? Go away. Okay. All right. Let's see if I can zoom. Is that too big? Okay. That should be good, right? All right. The woman who unknowingly acted as a getaway driver for the man charged with killing rapper Nipsey Hussle testified in court on Monday that she had no idea what she was getting herself into. Brianita? What a name. Brianita. We're going to go with Brianita Nicholson, who was given immunity for her testimony, so she could not be charged with driving the getaway car, told the court on March 31, 2019, she drove Eric Holder to a South Los Angeles shopping center where the two spotted Nipsey Hussle. She was excited to see Nipsey and mentioned to Holder that she wanted to take a picture with the rapper. I said, oh, there goes Nipsey. He's fine. I want to take a picture with him. She also told the court she didn't know Nipsey and Holder had a prior relationship from growing up in the same neighborhood. Nicholson said Holder asked her to stop at the Master Burger restaurant, which was in the same shopping center as Nipsey's clothing store. While Nicholson was looking for parking, Holder hopped out of the vehicle and approached Nipsey. Nicholson testified that when she joined the conversation, Holder was talking to Nipsey with his voice raised, but not overly aggressive. So Holder, the person on trial, was talking to Nipsey Hussle with a raised voice, but not overly aggressive. Okay. She also said Eric was asking Nipsey, did you tell somebody I snitched? Oh, so he was confronting him, asking him, did you tell somebody that I snitched? But Nicholson said she was focused on getting a selfie from the rap star to post on Facebook. After she took the picture, she left the two men and headed back to the car to post the photo. When Holder came back to the car, he told Nicholson to drive around the block. Once she complied, Holder pulled out a semi-automatic handgun and loaded the clip. So he's loading the clip as he's driving around the corner. So I thought he was going to get lunch after he left, but apparently they were already picking up the lunch when they got there. So he had his food. He could have just ate his burger and went home and minded his business. But he said, look, you called me a snitch. Let me load my handgun. And so I think this also is going to defeat his argument that this was, a heat of passion, because he actually left, took time, and this goes against heat of passion. You left, took time to drive around the block for 9 minutes, load the gun. At any of those moments, when you drove around the block, you could have changed your mind. When you loaded the gun, you could have changed your mind. When you told her to park in the alley, you could have changed your mind. When you walked around the building to get back to his store, all of that time, you could have changed your mind. So that will go against his heat of passion argument, just to let you guys know. All right, so let's pop back over to the article. All right, headed back to the car. Nicholson then testified that she yelled at Holder to put the gun away. So someone told him not to do it, and said he listened at first. He listened at first. That will also go against him, guys. He then told her to pull into an alley so that he could eat. So he could have ate his burger. Holder took a few bites from his french fries and told Nicholson not to leave. He'd be right back. She said she believed he was going into Nipsey's clothing store to buy a shirt. Really? After he loaded a gun, you believe he was going to get a shirt? It would be more believable that he was going to get some ketchup for his fries, not to get a shirt. Okay. Minutes later, Nicholson was startled by gunshots and saw an older man running away. She thought about pulling off, but began to worry about Holder's safety. Nicholson told to the court that Holder appeared to be power walking. So he didn't run, he's walking when he returned to her vehicle. I was like, what happened? Nicholson testified. He said, you talk too much, I ought to slap you. Whoa. You talk too much, I ought to slap you. And he was just like, drive. Okay. Nicholson then drove Holder to his Long Beach home after the shooting. Later that day, she would learn that Nipsey Hussle had been shot and killed and that Holder was the suspect. She also admitted to picking him up again after learning of Nipsey's death. I would not be picking him up, but I understand she might have been in fear for her own life. But yeah, you're not about to put me as your only witness in the car with you again. Okay. Now we learn that aspiring rapper Eric Ronald Holder Jr. was charged with murder on April 2nd, 2019, after he allegedly shot and killed Nipsey Hussle and injured two other men in front of Hussle's popular clothing store in Los Angeles. Holder was also charged with 2 counts of attempted murder and assault with a firearm and 1 count of possession of a firearm by a felon. So yeah, he's looking at some serious charges, honestly. Okay, let's send shockwaves through. Here we go. Former President Barack Obama even wrote a letter that was read during the slain rapper's funeral. While most folks look at the Crenshaw neighborhood where he grew up and see only gangs, bullets, and despair, Nipsey saw potential. He saw hope. He saw a community that even through its flaws taught him to keep going. So he was basically trying to change the way that they were looking at the neighborhood. He was trying to make it a better place and all of the things. All right. So we have, I'm just trying to see if this is something that we want to go through. And I don't think so, because it's pretty similar to the things that we have already read in the other article. So what do you guys think about that? After hearing her testimony, what do you guys think about that? Do you think it's still premeditated, or do you think he planned this? Do you think he had ample opportunity to change his mind? This lady told him to put the gun away and he listened and ate some fries in between. I don't know. We have Riley saying heat of the moment. And Bri's example would, I think, be something like the daughter immediately grabbing something heavy and hitting her mom and accidentally killing her. Yes, exactly. All right. Hello, Deacon Fatal. Welcome back to the live stream. It is okay to be late, guys. We know everybody has their own lives and things to get done. All right. We have Holy Hand Grenade saying, you get your people into S by acting stupidly like that. I think you're referring to what he did, right? Venture First says, I'm not street, but affiliated through work with X-Rated. He changed the law by using rap lyrics against rappers. Brothers Lunch Hung and Tech Nine and other smaller rappers continued. Oh, you're saying that you're continuing. Okay, hold on one second. And we have Holy Hand Grenade said, it puts heat on everyone. Venture First says, calling snitch can get you killed, obviously, but most rappers who made it out are rappers for a reason. But when you're on the street, your name is what you have. Definitely understand that. Hello Swanky says, totally agree, Bri. That's why legally he's still going down. It's not going to be his peers. Plus, this is not a crime of passion or heat of moment thing. I agree with you there. He's gonna have to convince this jury. We don't know what the jury looked like, but I can guarantee you it's not a bunch of Crips and Bloods. It's not other street people. I guarantee you that. We have KK saying, I wonder how worried the gal was being in a small space with that rage. Must have been a hard decision if she was level-minded. Yes. And even picking him up later in the night, I probably would have skipped town after that until they caught him, because I wouldn't want to be the only witness in the situation that he knew that can positively identify him as being the person that shot off the gun. I wouldn't want to be in the car with him afterwards. So I would have left town. I would be like, oh, I'm not in LA anymore. Sorry, can't pick you up. We have KK saying to take him back. I think we're talking about going back to the location. Hello, Swanky said, I agree. The court's not going to care. That crime of passion thing isn't going to fly. Yeah, I don't know why he thought this was. I mean, I guess it's a defense because he really doesn't have any other defense of that than that he did it. The whole purpose of him going to trial instead of taking a plea deal would be to get reduced time and a reduced charge. So I get why they're doing it, but is it going to work? I highly, highly doubt it. We have Holy Hand Grenade saying, burger, I'm so hungry, right? Hello Swanky saying, oh, he had to load the gun too? Premeditated. Yes, he loaded the gun and stopped when someone told him to stop and ate French fries. Okay. KK says she was like, he's just loading the gun to buy a shirt. Run, girl, run. Yes, exactly. Deacon Fatal says, yes, correct. We have Holy Hand Grenade saying, yep, the defense case will not fly at all. I mean, this is a waste of time and money at this point because I don't see what witnesses he's going to bring forward to show that this was not premeditated. I don't know. I can't find it. Hello, Swanky says, okay, you guys are talking to each other. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, we have Dabs B saying, providing instructions to the getaway driver sounds premeditated. Yep, it sounds, and I'm glad, or not, I'm not glad, but she's lucky to have gotten immunity because she's an accessory after the fact. She helped him get away and then picked him up later in the day. Like, what? Thomas Brown says, I'm virtually sharing my fries with everyone here. Thank you so much, Thomas Brown. They talking to each other. Hello Spunky says, ma'am, to buy a shirt. Yeah, to buy a shirt. He would have been better off saying, you know what, you forgot the ketchup. Let me go get some more. Something like that. Deacon Fatal also buy a shirt. We have Holy Hand Grenade saying MD's has the best fries, period. I don't know if I agree with you on the Mickey D fries, but Holy Hand Grenades. You guys are stuck on the fries. This is not even about the case anymore. Okay, Hello Swanky says he just loaded guns, left you hear shots. You're worried about his safety, ma'am. Now you're talking. Maybe you should be on the jury. You should be on the jury right now because that makes no sense. Well, it's not against her anyways, but still, his premeditation not being premeditated, I don't know if I can believe him for that. He's just going back to talk to Nipsey Hussle after loading a gun. And he had two guns. Okay. KK says, well, that explains why she testified. I'd be out of there right quick, shooting with premeditation. I'm moving across the country. Exactly. I would have been out of there. From that event, I would have been gone because she could have been charged herself, which is probably a good idea not to run, but you can always come back. Like after he's caught, then I would come back, but I would not be his friend anymore. Definitely not after that. We have Holy Hand Grenade saying Mickey D fries are you guys are talking about the fries. Okay, I'm behind on the chat, so I'm trying to catch into the opinion. Where we at? Okay, we have Who Said Kate says, to be honest, I never heard of this man till he was M. I feel really bad for the friends and family of Hussle. Yeah, it's horrible, and it seems to be happening so much more with the rappers. This one is a little bit different because I think the more recent shootings of rappers have been because people wanted the stuff that they had. And this one is because he was called a snitch. I understand that in their life, that is a bad thing. But at the same time, it's words. And you really don't gain anything about that. You're about to spend the rest of your life in jail because you were so offended that someone called you a snitch. You could have just moved. It would have been cheaper. But, you know, it's not something that I'm that familiar with. We have Hella Swanky saying, honestly, she should be in protective custody and move out of CA immediately because she absolutely is snitching, rightfully so, and she ain't safe. Yeah, I agree with that. We have premeditated coming in after hearing the woman testify. She gave a lot of detail that's going to go against him. So I would love to hear the testimony that he's going to put on to say that this was not premeditated. Okay. Venture First says, this isn't you or someone doing thing and having adrenaline going like crazy. This is his life he's used to, just my opinion. This isn't you or someone doing a thing. Yeah, no, I definitely get that it's different when you're in the situation, but the law is not going to take that into consideration. Like we talked about earlier. Deacon Fatal says, is that why she asked for immunity? Yeah, she wants immunity. She wouldn't have testified to these facts that are really going to stick with the jury, because if she did testify in his trial, it will kind of be like her telling on herself, like, yes, I drove the car. He told me to drive. I saw him load the gun and I still drove with him in the car. So she would be prosecuted as well. So if she was charged, she would not be testifying in this trial, because there will be not a violation, but she could invoke her Fifth Amendment right not to tell on herself, right? So that's why she's going to ask for immunity, and she's lucky that she got it. Thomas Brown says, feels premeditated. Absolutely agreeing. We have premeditated. We have Hella Swanky saying, let's be real, he and his attorney don't even think it's premeditated. Well, he has a public defender, so he couldn't get an actual defense attorney to take this on. He would be paying a lot of money to try to convince a jury that this was not premeditated. They know darn well they're grasping at straws. They're grasping at thin air at this point. Dobbs Omega says, I say it was premeditated. Hey, I did not do this. Not premeditated. Deacon Fatal says it does. A rando named Sage Moon says, def not, maybe would have with his actual peers, but not for randomly called jurors. Oh no, Biggie, change the name is just, but I'll go back to it after the stream. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, if it was his peers that actually understood what being called a snitch was, then he might have had a better chance. But just regular people, like us, no, or like me, I don't know. I don't think it justifies it. Dava Mega says, sorry for being the idiot today. No, I don't see any idiot comments going on. We have Cheryl Davis saying she got him a hotel. Suspect. Oh, did she? I didn't see that part, but maybe it's more information out there somewhere else. But yeah, so that's why she needs immunity, because she's helping him after the fact. You can still be liable, and you know of the crime. It's not like you don't know. You actually knew of the crime and helped get him to his home. Cece says, maybe a crime of passion was the best defense he has. Yes, that's the best choice he has, because he's on camera shooting and walking up to him and then kicking him after. So yeah, that's the only defense he really has. He can't say he didn't do it. We have you on camera, dude. All right. Talking, we have Deacon Fatal saying, okay, who told him Nipsey said that about him? Because I was late. It doesn't say. I'm not sure. He just asked if he called him a snitch. And so he went there to confront him. And then he decided. So it could have been, he could have gone there to confront him and asked him if he snitched, or said he snitched. And if Nipsey said, yeah, I told somebody that you're a snitch, and he pulled out the gun and then shot him, still probably would have been premeditated, honestly, because he brought the gun to confront him. I feel like him having the gun just in general is giving me premeditated. But the fact that he went and loaded it, yeah, premeditated. You had time to turn around from this. But no, I don't know who told him that Nipsey said that about him. Anna Magmus, I don't know if I said that right, but saying premeditated only needs to be a few cold calculating decisions. 9 minutes is more than enough time to qualify. As you said, he had ample opportunity to change course. Yeah, he left the parking lot. He could have just went home and ate his burger and fries, right? CC says, Bri, you said as I was typing it. Yes, we have Hella Swanky saying, yeah, he would have had a chance with his actual peers, not guaranteed, because Nip is really loved and, more importantly, respected by people, but he would have had a chance, but now no. Yeah, I agree with you there. Okay, I'm slow on the chat, so I'm gonna try to pop back over to the articles, see what else we can get out of there, and then we're gonna get into the jury instruction. Okay. So, well, here we go. There we go. Let's zoom in here. Make it. That's not a good picture. Okay. So this is the next Person that testified, we have at 2:50 p.m. Nipsey's legal team. It's not his legal team. These are prosecutors. It's not his legal team. So don't believe that if you see that in articles. Nip's legal team just called a witness, a man who goes by the name Cowboy. Cowboy testified he heard the verbal exchange between Holder and Nipsey just minutes before the shooting. He says Nip told Holder, "You know there's some paperwork floating around. I haven't read it, but you need to take care of it," which usually means police documents, so that there's an investigation going on, right? Cowboy says Nipsey was never confrontational and never called Holder a snitch as he previously been reported, but Holder responded by saying, "You be hating on me." So this guy is saying he didn't even call him a snitch. Nipsey Hussle's alleged murderer, Eric Holder, is standing trial in Los Angeles, and prosecutors just laid the details of Nip's shooting death in court, and it's horrifying. Okay, this is just kind of repeating what we have already talked about. That kind of shows him on the ground. And then they go into talking about them saying, "You're through." And Nipsey Hussle actually responded while he was being shot and said, "You got me," before Holder took off from the scene. Like, okay, you shot me. Like, now he's down. And then Nipsey Hussle unfortunately did not make it out of there alive. McKinney told jury Holder's kick to Nipsey's head shows it was a personal attack because he did kick him after he shot him, while Holder's public defender is trying to frame the case as something that happened in the heat of the moment. You'll recall Holder was arrested a few days after the shooting and was charged with 1 count of murder and 2 counts of attempted murder. Other people were injured by the gunshots during the incident and 1 count of possession of a firearm by a felon. Okay, so that just kind of repeats what we've gone through. So now we have another person saying that he wasn't even called a snitch. So does that change anyone's opinion that says that being called a snitch is something serious? If Nipsey Hussle really just told him that you need to handle this investigation that's going on and he didn't actually call him a snitch, that would be something different. But if Holder did go up to him and say, did you say I was snitching or whatever, then that could potentially, and Nipsey Hussle's answer, even if it wasn't yes, I said you be snitching, or yeah, you a snitch, then he could have took whatever Nipsey said and said, oh, he's considering me a snitch now. So there's that. Okay, we have KK saying she was probably scared and was just trying to make sure he was calm to be not to be next. I would just drop from that anxiety. Yeah, I get that too, but I sure wouldn't be showing back up. That's for sure. But also have to understand that everybody doesn't have the means to get out of somewhere, you know, financially and resourcefully, right? Hello Swanky says, I don't think anyone is saying the added context re-snitching plus street life justifies murder. Well, no one in this chat. Yeah, no, definitely does not justify. It may give a little bit more thought process to what he was thinking, but that doesn't wipe away the fact that it was premeditated. Definitely agree. We have Holy Hand Grenade says, it's hearsay. What's hearsay? We're talking about parties. So saying what an actual party said would not be considered hearsay because he was the person that actually heard the conversation. Same thing with the lady. They actually heard the conversation and the tones and witnessed it. So it wouldn't be hearsay. Okay. Thomas Brown says, I agree that I don't think they can really get around the facts that lean towards premeditated. Yeah, I agree with you there, Thomas. A rando named Sage Moon says, exactly. Her testimony is devastating to his case, but he didn't have much of one prior to that. Anyways, it was premeditated, right? 9 minutes. But when she goes into the fact that he was eating French fries after loading a gun, I feel like that really just killed his case. The French fries, yeah. Deacon Fado says, it's been a while since I've been in LA, but crimes of passions were 9 seconds. Or you said LE, legal education maybe, were 9 seconds. Yeah, it's a short amount of time. You can have premeditation in a short amount of time. So, all right, Cheryl Davis says, they tell a lot in opening statements. That's where I heard the case and seen the video. Yeah, they did show the video, which I think was pretty convincing. Not even convincing. You see what happens in there. You see him walk up, like even in the time of him shooting, he could have stopped and be like, you know what? This is not, I shouldn't be doing this, and walked away, because he actually turned around. I think they said he reloaded. Let me go back to that. I think they said he reloaded and then shot some more. So yeah, he had ample time to turn away. Okay. Hello Swanky says, yeah, but if that was me, I'm gone out. The more scared I am, the less I want to be near dude. I'm not going to rent him a hotel room. Sure, not going to pick him up. Yes, I agree with you there. Deacon Fado says, okay, you got me could mean I've been shot, at least to me. Yeah, that's what I took it as. Okay, you got me. Okay, you shot me, whatever. And he probably thought that he had a chance of surviving, but that transected spine is, I think someone mentioned earlier, could have been what really, and his lung was pierced as well. So he really didn't have a good chance of surviving that. Not that I'm a medical professional. Don't listen to me on that. I don't know. But I would assume if you're shot in the, was it the lung or the liver, that you wouldn't have a good chance. Okay, Holy Hand Grenade says, it's funny how the only accusations against Nipsey's character are from his murderer. Yes, that is a good thing to point out, or a good fact to point out. Deacon Fatal says, okay, other people have been injured. Yeah, he shot other people that were standing next to Nipsey, and one of them actually ended up in a wheelchair. So now his life is put on hold, or not on hold, but he can't do the things that he was doing before because of this guy with a gun that decided he was going to shoot out, right? All right, we have Thomas Brown saying, once again, I want to thank the chat and Bri for providing an amazing stream with my dinner. I look forward to these streams every week. Well, thank you very much. I'm glad that you enjoyed. KK says, does Cali try to disperse gang members when they go to jail? I'm sure unlikely because resources, but that dude has to be worried about if people believe him to be a snitch. If people believed him to have killed Nipsey Hussle, he's going to have a problem. Which we do believe that he did it because it's on camera. So he's going to have a problem regardless. We have Hella Swanky saying, no, doesn't change anything because it doesn't have to be true. An accusation of snitching is enough to put your life in danger. Again, does not justify anything, just saying. Not sure what you're referring to there, but I get the whole snitching thing, but yeah, just the thought that he called him a snitch probably is what triggered him, but at the same time, it's not going to prove it's not premeditated. So sorry he was called to him. Sorry to him that he was called a snitch, but my question was like, I mean, I guess to him it might be worth it to go to jail rather than be killed. I guess if those are your options, I guess that could have been his thought process. Holy Hand Grenade says, you saying McDonald's fries not being the best is hearsay. I don't really like McDonald's. I think I ate it too much when I was a kid. I do not eat it at all anymore. So I'm sorry. I am sorry. Okay. So I'm sorry about the McDonald's fries. I forgot all about that. All right, let's jump into the jury instructions. Let's look at what homicide is. So, homicide is the killing of one human being by another, murder and or manslaughter / why did it say manslaughter twice? Are types of homicide. The defendant is charged with murder and manslaughter. Manslaughter is a lesser offense to murder. Let me make this bigger, actually. Can I? Oh, yeah. Here we go. Okay. A homicide can be lawful or unlawful. If a person kills with a legally valid excuse or justification, the killing is lawful and he or she has not committed a crime, which is not the case here. There was no reason for him to kill Nipsey Hussle, so it would not be considered a lawful killing. If there is no legally valid excuse or justification, the killing is unlawful, and depending on the circumstances, the person is guilty of either murder or manslaughter. You must decide whether the killing in this case is unlawful, and if so, what specific crime was committed. I will now, or this is an jury instruction, so it will say like they're going to just instruct you to do things. So let me go ahead and check this out. Let's see. Let's do a poll here. I kind of gave away the answer, but that's okay. Just pretend like I never said that. But was this a lawful killing? I'm just going to put K to kind of protect the chat. So was this a lawful killing? There's yes, no, maybe. So if you think that he did not have a legal justification to do this, you would say no, it was not lawful. Let me do this. Let me do this. Okay, let me just change the answer here. So this, okay, so let's do this. K was lawful, not lawful. And then we'll do maybe lawful. People are saying lawful kill. Yeah, it's a possibility that it could be lawful. So I'm doing a poll here. We have 40 people in the chat. I want at least half the people to go ahead and vote. So let me know if you think that it's a lawful or an unlawful or maybe lawful. And so Hello Slinky is saying lawful killing. Yes. So justified killing would be someone breaks into, if you have a stand your ground law in your state. If someone breaks into your home and you shoot and you kill them, that would be considered a lawful killing. If you are no, that's imperfect self-defense. But yeah, you would just basically have the right to do it to protect yourself. If the person was shooting at you and you turned around and shot back at them and they're shooting at you and they're not supposed to be, then that could be considered a lawful killing because it was self-defense, right? So I think we got some people voting here. We have 10 votes, so I need 10 more people to go ahead and vote in order for us to close this poll. And then I'm going to be moving us over to the next jury instruction that is going to be important for this case that we are deciding right now, just based off of the two testimonies that Nipsey Hussle was not being aggressive. This guy left, loaded a gun, and came back. Was this premeditation? We're going to get into that one in just a moment. So we still need about 7 more votes. So if you guys have not voted in the poll, go ahead and let me know whether you think it was a lawful killing or an unlawful killing. And then we will move on to the next thing. All right. Holy Hand Grenade says yes, poll. Yeah, we haven't done a poll in a while, right? All right. We have Deacon Fatal saying it would help the defense, maybe. You're responding to something. Thomas Brown says, yeah, see, I don't really understand what a lawful killing is. So I just gave an example of what it could be. We have Hello Swinky saying Bri. No E. Yes. I'm not Brie like the cheese. Just Brie with no E. You're right. All right. We have Thomas Brown saying, Brie, in terms of the law, what exactly is a lawful killing? And I think these questions came before I answered it. So let me know if you guys need me to re-explain that. And Thomas says, stand your ground. Oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah. So if you have a right to kind of unalive somebody, then it will be considered lawful. And then there's I didn't get the instruction for that because I didn't think that you guys would be that interested in whether it was lawful or not. But maybe we'll look at it at a different time because there is a jury instruction on deciding whether the killing was lawful or not. Okay. So we got about 17 votes. So we'll go ahead and stop it right there because it's 100%. 100% of people says that it was not lawful. So he loses on that one. So then we're going to go into the fact of whether we're looking at murder or manslaughter. Okay. So now we are at the murder. And I just kind of gave up on offending YouTube at this point because it's hard to do a stream and not use the words that you're reading. Okay. So we are at the jury instruction for murder, first and second degree. The defendant is charged in count blank with murder. To prove that a defendant is guilty of this crime, the people must prove that 1A, the defendant committed an act that caused the death of another person. Did he commit an act that caused the death of another person? Go ahead and drop a 1 in the chat if you think that he committed the act that cause the death of another person. The other option is that the defendant had a legal duty to help in care and rescue, warn, maintain property. This one doesn't apply because he didn't have any duty to Nipsey Hussle. So go ahead and drop a 1 in the chat if you think that he did something that caused Nipsey Hussle to die. Drop a 2 in the chat if you think that he did not do anything that caused Nipsey Hussle to die. All right. So let's see. We got some chats coming in while I wait for your 1s and 2s to come in. We have Hello Swanky saying, push maybe if he had a chance of someone believing it was a crime of passion, but I don't see that happening, right? Holy Hand Grenade says, nah, F that. I just have to concentrate. Thomas Brown said, we answered it. Okay, perfect. Deacon Fatal says, I've only seen a lawful killing that stood with someone getting away with killing. Man shoots a Marine at McDonald's. He shot the Marine in the face. The victim chased him around the parking lot. Huh. Oh, because he was coming out after him, so maybe it was self-defense. Deacon Fatal says, shot him and ended him. That is the only time I've seen that work. Yeah, so it would be self-defense. Right. All right. So we got the 1s coming in that you think that he did something. Someone already, Helly Hand Grenades is already saying the murder has been satisfied. We're not to that part yet. We haven't decided the murder part yet. Okay. We have Helly Hand Grenade saying, yeah, and it's also in the context of law stuff. YouTube, don't be lame. Yeah, exactly. We're explaining the law here. All right, we have 1. So we think that he did something to cause the death of Nipsey Hussle. Okay, here we go. All right, the next option is, and when the defendant acted, he had a state of mind called malice of forethought. Given element 3 when instructing a justifiable excuse. Do they give us malice of forethought? Yep. Okay, there we go. Number 3, he killed without lawful justification. And so this is going to explain the lawfulness to you guys as well. If there are two types of malice of forethought. Okay, we're on number 2. Sorry, I misread that, guys. So when a defendant acted, he had a state of mind called malice of forethought. So malice of forethought, there are 2 kinds of malice of forethought, expressed malice and applied malice. Proof of either is sufficient to establish the state of mind required for murder. The defendant had expressed malice if he unlawfully intended to kill. The defendant had implied malice if he intentionally committed the act. That's 1. The natural and probable consequences of the act were dangerous to human life. At the time he acted, he knew his act was dangerous to human life. Sorry, I should have highlighted the words. And he deliberately acted with consciousness. So I don't know if we have expressed malice because he didn't say, I'm going to kill you, but he did say something. What did he say? What was it? While he was shooting, he said something to Nipsey Hussle. Let me see if I can find it in one of these articles. If you guys know, please drop it in the chat. Oh, he said, you're through. He said, you're through. Do you guys think that could be considered saying, oh, you're through could mean like your life is ended? I think they can use that. They may be able to prove expressed malice, but let's say he's not able to prove expressed malice. So he intentionally acted. He intentionally shot Nipsey Hussle. He did it 10 times, so we can only assume that that was intentional. And then after he shot, he walked up and kicked him in the head. So I'm going to say, yes, he intentionally shot Nipsey Hussle. The natural and probable consequence of his act, the shooting, were dangerous to human life. Yes, shooting someone 10 times is dangerous to human life, especially when you're going up their body and you end up severing their spine. Okay, at the time he shot Nipsey Hussle, he knew it was dangerous to human life. Yes, he said you're through to him, and he loaded the gun in order to hurt him. I would say, yes, he knew that shooting someone 10 times was dangerous to human life. Anybody would think that. And number 4, he deliberately acted with a conscious disregard for human life. I would say yes to that as well, because he shot and there was other people around. So he was acting with a reckless disregard. Malice of forethought does not require hatred or ill will towards the victim. It is a mental state that must be formed before the act causes death is committed. So he had to want to kill him or hurt him before the act was committed, before he shot him. It does not require deliberation or the passage of any particular time period. And so remember, guys, this is just the malice of forethought. This is just his state of mind, that it doesn't require the deliberation. All right. And then number 3, he killed without a lawful justification. We already stated that this was not, he didn't have a lawful justification. This was an illegal killing. All right. So I am just looking if we're going to get to the premeditation part of it. Okay, this is just giving kind of explanation, so maybe not. Oh yeah, no, because we have another jury instruction on first degree, I think, on murder, I think. Oh, no, I don't have another one. I thought I had another one for murder. So I think I forgot to include. Yeah, I forgot to include the information about premeditation, but I'll try to find that in a second. But let's go ahead and pop into the chat. Let me see if I missed anything here. We have Thomas Brown saying we are learning about the law through looking at cases, court documents, etc. I think this is more in line with educational content. Yes, I do agree with you, but YouTube just doesn't like certain words on their platform for some reason. Hello, Swanky says, yeah, I'm going to say you're probably right about that. Okay, you guys talking to each other. Deacon Fatal says, okay, dangerous to human life. Other people were shot. Yes, and other people were injured from it as well. Dabs Beat says, he did say you're done. Yeah, he said something along that lines, right? You're through. Yep, very similar. Okay, and then we have Thomas Brown saying, I could see that going for express malice. I mean, I think the context surrounding the statement and the shooting itself shows that enough. Yeah, I think that you could go for express malice on this one, but I definitely think that they could win on implied malice. We have all the happy squirrels. Welcome back to the live stream saying, I don't know anything about this case, but it sounds awfully sad. It is awfully sad. I don't think anybody deserves to lose their life at the hands of another person. I don't think we should be playing that game and deciding who gets to live and who gets to die, unless they are causing some type of safety issue for you. Deacon Fatal says, a direct safety. Let me correct that, because I know a lot of people have been talking about being called a snitch could lead to that. I feel like if someone's not trying to kill you, then you shouldn't be trying to kill them. Okay. Deacon Fatal says, good luck to defense, because this is going to be a hot mess. Right. We have Thomas Brown saying, I love your username. Definitely, to all the happy squirrels saying, I love your username. Definitely bringing some levity with some of the dark topics we are discussing this afternoon/evening. Yes, exactly. Love that username as well. Who said Kate says, go ahead and buzz the like button. If you guys have not hit the thumbs up, go ahead and do so now. It helps out my channel a lot. Hello, Swanky also says, join the Bri Hive, like, subscribe, click the bell. I want to support the channel and get a few perks for it. Become a member. Hit the join button on the desktop or any Android device. Yes, thank you so much. And guys, to join the membership, it's $5 a month. It just supports the channel. Make sure that I can do this for you guys. It also helps with getting court documents and things like that, because sometimes I have to pay for those out of my pocket. So any support that you guys can give is always greatly appreciated, whether it's monetarily or it's liking, subscribing, sharing the video. All of those things help the channel out. So thank you so much for doing that. Hello, Swanky, giving us a little reminder to do the supporty things, right? We have Holy Hand Grenade saying murder. Holy Hand Grenade says, Bri, YouTube never notify me your uploads or streams. I'm not sure why. Sometimes it messes up. So just make sure you have your bell on. And I usually go live on Tuesdays and Thursdays around 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So just be on the lookout for that. Okay, we have Hella Swanky also reminding us again to like, join, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thomas Brown says implied for sure. I definitely agree that you can get implied for sure on this. I'm going to have to see if I can find the jury instructions on premeditation. Let me see. California. Researching on the stream, but that's okay. To premeditation. Let's see if I can find it. No, we don't want to use that one. I might have to find, okay. Oh, here we go. First degree. Okay, we have it here. Do I want to go? No, I don't want to download the PDF. Oh, I might have to download the PDF again. Let's see. Okay. Control find 521. And I'm just trying to find the what you call it, the jury instruction on premeditation for you guys so that we can see what it actually says. Where are we at? Oh, there. Oh, there it went. Where'd it go? Let's see. Come on. Okay, here we go. Let's hop on to this jury instruction so we can see about premeditation. Boom. Okay. We are back in action, guys. We found it. All right. First degree murder. The defendant has been prosecuted for first degree murder under blank theories. It could be murder was willful, deliberate, and premeditated. Each theory of first degree murder has different requirements, and I will instruct. Okay. All right, let's go to deliberation and premeditation. The defendant is guilty of first degree murder if the people have proved that he acted willfully, deliberately, and with premeditation. The defendant acted willfully if he intended to kill. I think we established that he intended to kill. The defendant acted deliberately if they carefully weighed the consideration for against his choice and knowing the consequences decided to kill. Do you guys think that he weighed his choices? I think that he weighed his choices. I think the girl gave testimony to help us determine that he weighed his choices. He left. He drove around the block. He told her to park in the alley. He loaded a gun. He ate some French fries and put the gun down. Then he told her to wait, got out the car, walked around the building, shot 10 times, 10 to 11 times, and then returned back to the car speed walking. I think that he weighed his options. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. Do you think he weighed his options there? Okay. And so knowing the consequences, decided to kill. The defendant acted with premeditation if he decided to kill before completing the acts that caused the death. And now let's go into the description of he thought about it. The defendant acted with premeditation if he decided to kill before completing the acts that caused the death. Do you guys think he decided that first? Let's check it out. The length of time that a person spends considering whether to kill does not alone determine whether the killing is deliberated and premeditated. The amount of time required for deliberation and premeditation may vary from person to person, and according to the circumstances, a decision to kill made rashly, impulsively, and without careful consideration is not deliberate and premeditated, which is what he's trying to prove, that this was a heat of passion. On the other hand, a cold, calculated decision to kill can be reached quickly. The test is the extent of the reflection, not the length of time. So I think the extent of his reflection, the fact that he left, told the girl to park close, and loaded the gun and decided to put it down when he was told to put it down, I think that shows premeditation. What do you guys think about that? All right. So we have some peoples in the chat. Let's see what you guys think about that. KK says, thank goodness for tech. I couldn't imagine old school research for everything. Yeah, I can agree with you on that. Even online research takes a long time, right? Thomas Brown says, I work in IT, so my job most likely wouldn't exist without tech we have today. Okay, IT guy. We have Before the Grave says, oh, IT was a thing even in the 80s. I had an interview with a guy today who was telling me all about pre.com startup days. That's interesting. We have Sage Moon saying, yes, he did. He had 9 minutes to think about the severity of his actions. I agree with you, Sage Moon. We have Thomas Brown saying the lady from the car story definitely looks more like he did weigh his options. Also, didn't he have like a 10-minute window there? Yes, it was they specifically said 9 minutes, but yeah, about 10 minutes to decide whether he was going to do this. And he actually left and decided to come back. I think that shows premeditation. We have All the Happy Squirrels saying, I'm catching up on 2x speed too. Sometimes it's hard to adjust when the stream goes back to live speed. Yeah, I hate when that happens. You're like, oh, it's going so fast. And then all of a sudden we're all going in slow motion, right? Okay, we have Deacon Fatal. Thank you for the $20 super chat. Definitely appreciate that. Deacon Fatal says, researching is always a good thing. Thank you for coming with facts on the case because my feelings don't matter. How I feel doesn't matter. Clout isn't worth someone's life. Yes, exactly. And I think some of the things that some of the chat was explaining, that being called a snitch could be very offensive in the type of life that this person likely lived, in the street life, right? But at the same time, I don't think that gives you the right to take someone else's life because maybe you did snitch, or maybe you are being perceived as snitching. So I don't know. I understand that he may have had a justification for it, but in like morality with the more common amount of people, we're not just specifically looking at a group of his peers and what they think in street life. We're looking at the United States or the world in general. Is that justifiable by the majority of people in the world? And the answer is no. It's not. It could be a thought process, but it definitely does not mean that a jury would agree with you, right? But yes, thank you so much for the super chat. Definitely appreciate it. All right, we have Hella Swingy saying, I'm not convinced he weighed his choices, but I don't know how much that matters because he had so much opportunity to do so. He wasn't in some blind rage. He was just acting foolishly. Yes, I agree with you there. I think that what he may try to do is rebut what the lady said, like that those things didn't happen. I never even ordered French fries. Like just kind of pointing out little details to try to prove that she's not telling the truth. Could also say that she was infatuated with Nipsey Hussle. She wanted to take a picture, so she's just saying these things for clout and things like that. So I don't know if that's going to be very effective, but it's a possibility that he might try to do that. All right, we have Deacon Fatal said, I play music over 30 years, and this is a hot mess. It's shameful for any artist to do. Right, and so this guy was an aspiring rapper, and of course, Nipsey Hussle was a rapper. Not a good look for the rap industry, especially with the fact that Nipsey Hussle was trying to make his community a better place, right? So let's go ahead and pop back over to the voluntary manslaughter instructions to see if he qualifies for this. So let's pretend he was able to prove that this was not premeditated, right? So the defendant is charged with voluntary manslaughter. And these are the jury instructions if he's charged with this. But he was not charged with this. But to prove the defendant is guilty of voluntary manslaughter, the people must prove that the defendant committed an act that caused the death of another person, which we can say he shot Nipsey Hussle, which resulted in him passing away, right? And when the defendant acted, he unlawfully intended to kill someone. He obviously intended, or not obviously, but we can say that he intended to kill Nipsey Hussle. He shot at him 10 times, right? And he did ultimately kill him. And he killed without lawful excuse or justification. We established earlier, we do not think that he had any lawful reason to kill Nipsey Hussle. Or the people must prove that. So this is another option that you can prove voluntary manslaughter. The defendant intentionally committed an act that caused the death of another person. I think that's a yes. The natural consequences of that act were dangerous to human life. The answer to that is yes. So, okay, we'll go back. I don't know if we can do intent to kill. He might have just intended to hurt him, but you can also transfer that to kill because he was so reckless in disregard to his life. At the time he acted, he knew the act was dangerous to human life. We established that already. He deliberately acted with a conscious disregard for human life. I think we can establish that as well. And he killed without lawful excuse or justification. Again, we established that. An act causes death if the death is a direct, natural, and probable consequence of the act, and the death would not have happened without the act. A natural and probable consequence is one that a reasonable person would know is likely to happen if nothing unusual intervenes. In deciding whether a consequence is natural and probable, consider all of the circumstances established by evidence. So he meets the requirements of voluntary manslaughter, yes, but does that mean that he should be charged with that? I didn't have time to look into the differences in the actual prison sentences for these crimes, so I would have to look into that before I can tell you, oh, if he gets manslaughter, then he will face this amount of time. If he gets murder, then he will face this amount of time, because I didn't have time to look into it, to tell you the truth. So what do you guys think? I'm stuck on the fries, and I saw somebody talking about fries, so I'm going to click on it. So we have Holy Hand Grenade saying the fry eating alone proves he's not in a state to commit a crime of passion. Yeah, he has already kind of changed his course, and then he decided to go back on that course. That's the same, not the same, but it's similar to when, let's say someone attacked you, and you guys are fist fighting, you're fighting. This guy hits you. And then they say, you know what? I'm going to stop. I'm going to turn around and I'm going to walk away. If you run up behind that person and then like hit them in the back of the head or start hitting them again, then you will then be considered the aggressor under the law, because the original aggressor has already retreated. They decided they weren't going to do it anymore and that they changed their mind. So you are not justified in self-defense to go and chase them down and start attacking them again. It's a similar situation to, okay, I think him just even leaving the place was a change of his course. And then getting in the car and driving was also a change in the course. And then you stop after someone told you to put the gun down, you ate some fries. You could have just enjoyed your lunch, in my opinion. But everyone's different. And I think a jury would think the same. He should have just ate his burger and went on about his life. Okay, we have Hella Swanky saying, oh, hip hop fusion. Oh, you guys are talking about music there. Who said, Kate saying, chat rules, no name calling or doxing. This discussion is educational. Let's stay on topic. Okay, thank you for the reminder, Kate. We have, okay, you guys are talking about the music. All right, Holy Hand Grenade says, and the reason why people need to green light go ahead is because obviously killing someone brings heat on everyone. Yeah, so this is all kind of like a domino effect. And I get that they have their own kind of rules of their society in the street life and things like that. But under the law, he's not going to be justified in this at all. All right. I have Hella Swinky saying, this is random, but you know what would be wild if he actually did snitch. The whole time I was assuming he didn't, was falsely accused. But if he is actually a snitch, yeah, that could very well be true. I say you could be perceived as being a snitch. Maybe you don't personally think you a snitch, but maybe Nipsey Hussle did say there's some paperwork out there. So is he implying that Holder went to the cops and maybe made a statement? Potentially, we don't know. All right. We have Holy Hand Grenade saying Bri is in the gang life. You have to let what is called a green light before you try to take someone out. Yep. Okay. I get what you're saying. This was definitely premeditated and planned. You can't just do that. Okay. Yeah. So I get what you're saying. So before you can basically kill someone, you're supposed to get permission from like a higher up. We're going to call it a higher up, a person higher up in the gang. So that's what Holy Hand Grenades is saying here. And that makes sense that he went there to try to figure out if he was called a snitch, and maybe he wasn't all the way prepared, and so he had to leave to go get prepared. I would be so upset if my boyfriend just wanted to go shoot someone and they had me drive them. Like, you didn't even give me the option. You could have had like one of your friends drive you or something. But if you had permission to go do this and you asked your girlfriend for a ride, I think that's messed up. We have Deacon Fatal says, to be honest, this sounds like he made the worst mistake of his life and is now finding out because Nipsey's legacy is stronger than his. Should have sat down and ate his food and ate that crow. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's 2 lives ruined. No, it's more than 2 lives ruined. You have a guy that's in the wheelchair now. You have Nipsey Hussle that is now dead, who is making changes in his community. And now you have this guy going to jail, most likely for the rest of his life. It's really no winners here, all because you thought that someone called you a snitch. Okay, Thomas Brown says, sorry, I keep going off topic. I'll try to stay more on topic in the future. Thank you. Okay, and then we have KK saying, unaliving someone is so final. Yes, I agree with that. I'm heavily against unaliving people. I couldn't imagine terminating some other person. Sad that people can get to that level and not caring if it's final or permanent. And it's just kind of a disregard. It's like, my feelings are more important than yours, or my life is more important than yours. So because if in the streets you say that about someone and you don't want people thinking of that about you, so you kill them in order to not be killed, you're basically deciding that your life is more important than theirs based off of words that are spoken, right? Deacon Fatal says, would it matter in the court of law though? As far as what their rules are in the street? No. The only thing we're deciding is if it's premeditated. We don't care what beef you had. Was it premeditated? Yes, then you're on first degree. If it wasn't premeditated, it could be second degree. You can qualify for voluntary manslaughter, then you're looking at voluntary manslaughter, right? We don't care what the rules are of the gang, or the court doesn't, at least. Hello Swinky says, I chuckled out loud at the New York reference. Should have sat there and ate your food. Yeah. That's what I would say. Sit there and eat your food. All the happy squirrels. Sorry, this darn squirrel followed me. A squirrel is that why that's your name? Squirrel follows you? All right. We have Deacon Fatal says, any producer would be a fool to work with him again. As far as Mr. Holder, he's in jail. I don't think he's getting out anytime soon. Deacon Fatal also says, I wouldn't want to work with him. I wouldn't want to work with him either. And I wouldn't want to be his girlfriend. That girl, I would not have picked him up. But like, you never know what you're going to do when you're in these types of situations. But yeah, I wouldn't want to work with him. I wouldn't want to be his friend, anything of the nature. Okay. Hello Swanky says, is right about the green light, which I forgot about. Makes me wonder if he got one or not, because if he didn't, oh, I'm so interested to know how that was handled with his fam. He was arrested 2 days later, so it wasn't much that people could do unless they have got the information over to the people that are in the jail. I wonder if he's in protective, like a protected cell, or in solitary or something, because I feel like life could be dangerous for him in prison, taking out somebody like Nipsey Hussle. Okay, Callie Tangerine says, bummer, I will have to catch the replay. Oh, that's okay. Hopefully it's still enjoyable. I know it's not as interactive when you're on the replay, but we missed you here today, Callie Tangerine. Saying hi to everyone. Looking forward to hearing more about this. Yeah, we covered a lot of information, so hopefully it's helpful. all the happy squirrel says, what is the green light? Basically, it's getting permission from your bosses. I would say your bosses, getting permission for them to go ahead and do the thing, to do the killing. So you can't just go around killing people in the community without kind of the group or the boss collectively deciding on, okay, we're taking out this person this day, so go ahead and do it. So they're basically saying that it was planned from the beginning. All right, we have Being Fatal saying, I'm not bring heat to my biz after your mess. Right, exactly. Hella Swanky is reminding us to hit the like button, subscribe, and if you want to join the channel as a member, Deacon Fatal is a channel member. We have a couple of different channel members over here. It supports the channel. Like I said, it's $5 a month. If you can spare it, please go ahead and join in the membership. You get cool emojis and little badges next to your name to show that you are a member and that you really ride with the beehive. Okay. And so who else do we have here? Let's see. We have Hella Swanky saying, again, street politics. The streets have its own ecosystem, so to speak. Yes, I definitely agree with that. We have Joey Chaz saying, never call a shooter a snitch, period. Well, yeah, we learned that lesson through this case here. So it seems to be something that's very important in their ecosystem, as Hella Swanky said. All of the Happy Squirrels says, thanks. I didn't even know that was a thing if they were in the same gang. They said they grew up in the same neighborhood. I don't know, probably the same gang then too. But beyond that, it doesn't seem like they were really friends outside of that. Okay, we have Das Beat with a $4.99 super sticker. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Definitely always appreciate it. I have to go on to YouTube to see what it actually is, because as you can see, here on StreamYard, it just says super sticker. And it's like a little cute little fox. Oh, thank you so much for sending that. Okay, we have Joey Chaz saying, Nipsey forgot to pay his hood taxes. Oh, I don't know. That's a new statement. I haven't heard it in the chat so far. Deacon Fatal says, okay, that is like mafia mess. You are black, sir. You don't have that mafia clout. And he doesn't seem like he had that. Not made man, I guess. Yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like it could be a part of their politics, to tell you the truth. And I can see why he felt justified in it. But I guess I can say I'm like not a risk taker. So maybe that's why I cannot, justify that for me. I'm like, move to a different state or kill somebody else. I'm probably going to take the move to the different state part of it. But like I said, everybody doesn't have those means to just get up and leave, especially when it's all you really know. Holy Hand Grenade says, I can almost guarantee he has been in PC. A S ton of people are looking for him. Private confinement? Or is that what PC is? I don't know. I might be making stuff up. Okay, we have Hella Swingy saying, oh, Bri, him being arrested and jail definitely doesn't mean there's nothing that can happen. Yeah, and depending on what they want to happen, being in jail could make it easier for the family, his gang. Yeah, so I'm saying if they have people in the jail that support Nipsey Hussle, then his life can definitely be in danger, because I know people still kill people in jail, to tell you the truth. All right, so I know that I usually go live, and it's not as big of a crowd today, so I might have to make this announcement on Twitter and also in my community tab, but I usually go live on Tuesdays and Thursdays around 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. However, I will not be going live on Thursday at 4 p.m. I'm going to be switching it to Friday sometime. I haven't decided the time yet, but it will be in the early afternoon, because I am traveling to the LA area to go to Legal Bite's wedding. So I will be there doing a stream. We'll probably, I'm not sure what topic we're going to cover yet. It might just be like a Ask Me Anything stream. And then you guys will get ready to go to the wedding on live, so you guys can be a part of the LawTube wedding, the first LawTube wedding that I know of. So I will be streaming on Friday instead of on Thursday evening this week. So I hope that you guys can join. I know it's going to be at a different time, but I'm hoping that you guys can join and just kind of hang out with us. It'll be me and Alpha. I don't know if he'll be on the stream, but he will definitely be in the room and we'll be getting ready to go to the wedding. So I'm going to do a couple of more chats and then I'm probably going to head off of here. We have Data for Insight says, needed to take care of some stuff, so missed most of the stream, will replay. Okay, no problem. We love to see people in the replay crew, but thank you for stopping by on the live. Deacon Fatal says, I like music more than worrying about anything else, and at no time I don't start beef like this. Yeah, and it could just be because that's not what we're used to, or that's not what we really grew up in. So we're gonna have different opinions than the people that are in this guy's situation, right? Because I definitely would not be concerned with confronting someone about calling me anything, to tell you the truth. I'll be like, that's your opinion, whatever. But again, my life is not at risk for someone just judging me on being a weird girl on YouTube, right? Yeah. All the happiest girl says, that makes sense. Well, as much sense as shooting can make. Right, exactly. As much sense as we can make out of it. All right, Deacon Fatal says, nice. We have Holy Hand Grenade. His word is, dude got him, was a LAPD informant. I did hear that conspiracy. I haven't seen it in researching to do this stream today. So yeah, I don't know if that was ever proven or not. So do you think, Holy Hand Grenades, do you think he's going to get off if he's a LAPD? I don't think they would have charged him if he probably wasn't hired to do a killing I would hope he wasn't hired by the LAPD to do a killing, honestly. And then they charge him. That would be messed up. They would have probably given him immunity for that. All right. Thomas Brown says, have a great evening, everyone. You too as well. Thank you for stopping by or staying for the whole live stream, honestly. Deacon Fatal says, congrats to them. Yes, congrats to the wedding. Legal Bites and Mr. Bites, they're having their wedding. So KK says, weddings are so fun. I'm getting married next June. Hope y'all have a wonderful time. Oh, well, congratulations to you as well. Next June. I think I am headed towards next March, even though I just got engaged like a couple weeks ago. But yeah, we'll probably be having a wedding around the same time. We have Alicia Grooves with the yay, representing for Legal Bites with the blue hearts. We have Joey Chad saying PC is protective custody. Okay. They have their own rules. Only child molesters have no protection. Okay, that makes sense. So I would think if he's in a jail in that location that he would be in some type of protective custody or solitary confinement or something. Callie Tetrine says, oh yay, congrats to Mr. and Mrs. Bites. Yeah, I think it's going to be so fun. It's actually not even my first LawTube wedding. It's actually going to be my first wedding ever. So I'm really excited to just kind of go celebrate with them, celebrate with some of the other LawTubers. It's going to be pretty fun. We have Hella Swingy saying, you're traveling to LA on Thursday and I'm leaving LA on Thursday. Oh, opposite schedules, huh? We have Deacon Fatal saying congratulations to the newlyweds. We have Mira Fine saying coming over from Natalie, catching up on 2 times speeds. Well, thank you for joining. Yeah, Natalie did go live today as well. I think she was doing coverage on an acquittal. I didn't have time to look all the way into what she was doing. Okay, Holy Hand Grenade says, I thought she was already hitched. Yeah, so I believe they are already married, but they're having their wedding now. If I'm right. I think that's what it is. But the celebration is this weekend. Okay. So we have Sage Moon saying, oh, that's so sweet. Can't wait to join you Friday. Congrats to Legal Bites. Yeah, I'm so excited for her. I'm so excited to see her dress and everything going on there. Deacon Fatal says, I would hope he wasn't. The chat is kind of just mixed in now at this point because I brought up 2 different things. We're talking about a trial and we're talking about a wedding here. Deacon Fatal says, much love. Take care, everyone. Thank you for stopping by, Deacon Fatal, and showing support as always. And we have Holy Hand Grenade saying they use them. I think you're talking about the LAPD. That's not nice. I'm not going to read that. KK says, woo woo, I just got engaged in April, so I understand a lot to get done. Yeah, I'm in a rush. No, I'm aiming for March. Yeah, there's a lot to get done. It's very hard to plan, and I'm even planning a very, very small wedding, like less than 30 people, and it's still hard to plan. It's very hard to plan. So congratulations to you, and I hope baby is going to be the flower girl. And I hope you guys have a great wedding as well. So yes, I will see you guys on Friday. I'm thinking I probably should do it around noon to make sure I get over to the wedding on time and not be late. So yes, I will see you guys on Friday. No stream on Thursday evening. And let me know if there are any topics that you guys would like for me to cover. I have no idea what I'm going to cover. Probably going to think of it on Friday morning. And we might just do like an Ask Me Anything. So I'll post on Twitter and in my community tab, and then you guys can go ahead and drop in the comments what do you think that we should do. Should it just be relaxed and Ask Me Anything, or do you think that we should actually cover the law, which is what you guys subscribe for? So thank you everyone for joining me tonight. I hope that this case was informative, and I hope that you guys got a little bit more background information, because there's not really a lot of coverage on this case. So I'm hoping that this was helpful for you guys. So I will see you guys on Friday.